Hey, sixth grade. Welcome to our next fabulous instructional video. Today, I'm going to be going over number 129 in your book. It is on page 25. So this is called our technique track because it's going to help us work on our slurring, our tonguing, and getting some movement underneath our fingers. Again, if you are not able to have your book, you could always go ahead and use the essential elements online. You send me a message if you have some questions or watch the video to see how you can log on. Anyone can log on, anyone who is a student of mine. So go ahead and utilize that resource. So the first thing I want to look at is on our first measure, we have some quarter notes. So the rhythm's not too difficult there. I need you please to look at your key signature. If you are a flute, an oboe, a trombone, or percussion, you're going to have three flats, B flat, E flat, A flat. If you are going to be a brass player, what's a trumpet or a clarinet, you are going to make sure that you are using your B flats. My horn player is going to have two flats. So now that we got that down, I'm also noticing in our first measure, everything is slurred in our first measure. So you only tongue the first note. The notes shouldn't be so bad. They're all notes that we recognize. So if you're a tenor saxophone player, really be cautious about what you need to do to get in that low register. And everyone else should really be good to go. Remember trombones, though. You do tongue, or else you're going to get a big glissando. So what you need to do is say a da articulation. So here is measure 1. Wow, those kind of sound familiar, don't they? It's just our first 5 notes backwards. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to make sure that I go really nice and slow because this is not about being quickly. It's about having a good sound with a good support. So you need a big breath, 1 breath of air, and let the buttons do the work. So let's try that again. Here we go. I'm really listening for an even tone. I'm not blowing at each note or else it'll sound like one smooth breath. So now if I am a clarinet though, I am going to be up on my high F. So how I remember the high notes is we have our back hold cover and we have our C, D, E, F. So this is your high F. That's actually what you're going to start on. Just like that. All I go is F, E, D, C. So make sure you have a big smile. Got your teeth on top. And you have a good reed position. So if you're looking right above where my lipstick is, that is actually where you're going to tongue, but we only tongue the first note. So now that we got our first measure down, I want you to take a look at the next measure. We have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So is going to be tongued this time, so make sure we're tonguing every note. And let's start with the clarinets. We have D, D, E, E, F, C. Let's do that again. D, D, E, E, F, down to C. All right, I'm not the best clarinet player, but you kind of get the point. So then we're going to have the same thing for our trumpets. Not so bad in trumpet land. So now let's put those 2 measures together. So I'm going to go slur, tongue, 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 tongue. All right, play along with me, or you can pause it and practice and play with me later. So for everyone except the clarinets, the notes are pretty easy. What I really need you guys to focus on is keeping that breath support, the difference between your tonguing and your slur. Reminder that when your tongue is not part of your tongue and go so you can think about it 2 ways. You can think about it that the tongue is coming up to stop the air, or that you're spitting something out like a tic tac or a watermelon seed or like a piece of hair. All right, so now let's go to the 3rd and the 4th measure. So here's my favorite rhythm. It is a dotted quarter eighth. So measure 3 is going to sound like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Do that again. I actually want you to clap with me this time. Literally, get your hands ready. Here we go. Ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now let's look at our notes. Our notes are pretty good. We have that high D again, the clarinets. So clarinets, D, D, E to E. And then in measure 4, we get a beautiful whole note. So that way we can get rewarded for our hard work. So everyone should have a really nice time, except for the clarinet. Sorry, it's our challenge piece. Let's try the 3 and 4 together. 1 and 2 and ready. So there we go for our clarinets. Also, if we are a flute, we need to make sure we're going C, C, D, D, E flat. Excellent. And my saxophone should be good to go. Tenor sax, I'm sorry that's really low for you, but you did great today, Diana, so I have faith in you. Also, trumpet's not too bad. Just watch your rhythm. Same with the trombone. So let me play it again on our trumpet so you can hear what it sounds like on a brass instrument. So now that we got that far, we played the first 2 measures as a chunk and measure 3 and 4 as a chunk. I want us to go back now and see if we can do the whole 4 measures. I want you clarinets to focus on getting the embouchure nice and firm, those chins nice and flat to get those high notes. I want Diana to practice really dropping that jaw down and getting those low notes. And I want everyone else to focus on the tonguing and the slurs. So here is the first 4 measures. Please play along with me or listen, pause it, and play along then. Here we go. 1 and 2 and ready. So if you want to practice that again, pause the video, practice it, and come back. Or if you're ready to go on, let's go on. So now we are on the second line, and here's where it's going to get tricky because we have some chromatic notes. So first of all, I want the flutes and the trombones and the oboe to notice that you guys have an E natural. That is your very first note. So trombones, that's going to be second position E. If you are a flute, it's 1, 2, pinky. So E, okay? And oboe, make sure you have your E natural too. So it's going to be E natural, D, C, D for my flutes. Do that button again. E natural, D, C, D. And for my trombones, you are going to be second position, fourth position, sixth position, fourth position. And my clarinets and trumpets, you guys are going to be playing your F sharp. So if you are a trumpet, your F sharp is right there. It is middle valve, E, D to E. If you are a clarinet, you have a high F sharp. So it's going to make sure that you're going to have your embouchure set, and it is going to be, I'm going to look it up so I don't tell you the wrong one because I've never taught this high note to the 6th grade before. And that is actually what I thought. It is going to be 1, 2, 3, middle with your octave key. So it's going to be the same fingering as your low B, but add the octave key in the back. So it's going to be F sharp, E, D, E. So now let's everyone that we had a chance to button that, let's play that measure together. This one we're going to do a couple times because it's tricky. So here we go. Make it nice and slurred. Yep, that was right. Sorry. Let's do that much again. Make sure it's one breath and you only tongue the first note. All right. And then clarinets. Let's see how this is going to sound. Oh my goodness. Wish me luck. I can show you the fingers again. F sharp, E, D, E. So if you want to practice that measure on your own, pause the video, or if you're ready to go on, let's keep going. So now we get rewarded with some wonderful half notes. So flutes, and trombones, and oboe and percussion. Make sure, again, it's an E natural. So it's 1, 2 pinky or second position. Okay, and then my clarinets and trumpets, you have an F sharp again. And my horn player, you are playing a B natural, which is middle valve, not first for your B natural. My tenor sax is on an F sharp. So let's look at that next measure. Let's play it together. Do that much again. 1 and 2, and that much again. Now let's put those two measures together. Slower is better. I would rather have good support and accuracy in your fingers than you impress me with how fast you can go. Okay, let's put those together. So now I'm going to try it again on the clarinet. You can go ahead and fast forward if you don't want to hear me play the clarinet, or you can pause it, or you can practice. Do what is most helpful to you. So here we go. Excellent. So then we are getting to the final two measures. So when I'm looking here, I want you guys to first take a look at the last measure. Now, the last measure is a natural sign for some of you and a flat side for some of you, because that's reminding you that we are now back to the notes you're more comfortable with. So if you are a trombone or a flute, it is an E flat. Okay, oboe and percussion, you're an E flat again. If you're a clarinet and a trumpet, you're an F natural again, which is your first valve trumpet or your first finger clarinet. And my horn player is back to a B flat, so it's returning back home. And they have them in parentheses because we should know that the accidental only carries over in the measure. So it's just a kind reminder. So let's go ahead and look at the last two measures. Again, they are slurred, and the last note is tongued. Try to make it as smooth as you can. Make sure if you have valve oil that you are using it, because as you can tell, my sound was smooth because of my air, but my valves were sticking. And that's, sometimes you just have to deal with that, and that's okay. You can still do the best you can, but that is what kind of gave me that glitch in my sound. Let's try that again. Ready? All right, now let's hear this on the clarinet. Now, clarinets, we're going to start on an E. Here's your E, D, C, E, F. Let's play that. All right, there we go. So now we are ready to play the whole song. So when you practice this, you can practice it in 2 measured chunks. And that way it's going to get your fingers together, it's going to get your airstream going, and it's going to get you listening to those pitches. So I'm going to play the whole thing for you, so that way you can play along if you want, or you can listen and then you can play after. And also, please use the essential elements online. It is really cool. My 5th graders really love it, not because they're younger than you, but because you can go on, you can look at every single song in this book, and you can have backbeats to it, accompaniments, you can listen to it, then play it. So if you need more music to challenge you, you can pick new songs, or if you need to go back and review, if you miss a virtual lesson, you can have help there. And it's really, really great, guys. I had to go through a little bit of a hoop to get it for us. So please make sure you're using it, because I really think it's awesome. And I want you guys to really enjoy practicing at home, since we can't do it all together. So I'm going to play this for you twice. I'm going to play it first on trumpet, and then I'm going to play it on clarinet, okay? So here is the whole thing. I'm making sure that my posture is good. I'm making sure that I am going to use good air, and I'm listening to my sound on every note, okay? So here we are. 1 and 2, and ready. So there is one take so you can practice, or you can turn it off if you feel like it. Or if you're a clarinet player, let's hang on tight for this, okay? Here we are, and make sure you get those accidentals in the back line. Here we are. 1 and 2 and ready. All right, guys, thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon. Stay safe. I don't know how to stop this.